And we have this sense in life of this underlying something. If you notice, there's something in every single experience you've ever had. Every experience, there is a common quality to all of it. The experience itself changes, for sure. But even if you don't even try to figure it out, don't even try to think about it for the moment, but do you just have that sort of intuition that there's something about your whole lifespan, about everything that's ever happened to you, the rottenest, most terrible moments, and the most blissful, wonderful moments, there's something about all of those moments, there's some underlying something that's a part of every moment, is there not? Even if you can't describe to yourself what that is, there's a basic intuition. It's almost like going back and looking at your baby pictures and going, oh, that's me. Really? Doesn't look at all like you. Number one, it's about 1 foot long, 1.5 feet. What is it about you? What is it about it that reminds you of you? Do you know what I mean? As a baby, it doesn't have any of your life experience yet, almost none. Everything that's happening to you hasn't happened to the picture of that baby. What is it? See, everybody has there's some sort of fundamental just sense of somehow something about you has been a part of every experience. But the more you look into what that is, what is it about me that's part of every experience? Or what is it that is an integral part of every experience? I mean, just to say, it's me, that's nice, but it's very imprecise, isn't it? To say, I was there for every experience, it's really imprecise. It doesn't actually tell you anything. If you really look into it, what actually is it about every moment, even in one day, even in a 24-hour span? What is it that links it together? You see, the reason that it's hard to actually put your finger on directly is because what's always there can never be experienced in any objective way. An experience is objective. It's even in the language you use. I had this experience, and the I is describing an experience. So the experience is in some sense an object that you're describing. It's objective in that sense. But when you try to see what is it that's in every experience, the more you look for it, you can't find it, but you can't find it because has no objective existence. It's not something out here. It's not something experiential. It's not something, it's not an idea. All of that which is experienced in some objective way. Which, by the way, is exactly the same thing that is the part of this experience right here and right now. There's something about you that can never be experienced in any objective way whatsoever. And yet it's there. And that's what makes it so confounding to the mind, because the mind goes like this. What is it that's there? And it's looking like this. What is it that's there? No, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that. Not. And it goes, well, I'll look within. But it's still looking out objectively. It's just switched direction. Instead of looking out here, I'm looking here, right? Neither of which tells you what's right here. Right? It just tells you what's here or what's here. What's outside or what's inside of this imaginary line between in and out, right? Which there actually isn't one, but nonetheless. But what's right here You can't see it. You can't turn it into an experience. It's not high, and it's not low, and it's not anything in between. And by the way, you might notice I am purposely withholding some of the more common descriptions of what that might be. Because as soon as I use any of those words or descriptions, I know they're going to turn into new things that are right here in front of you. Do you know what I mean? And your mind will then be trying to okay, wow, now I'm supposed to be that description. Does that make sense? So if we went ahead and used some of those, we could just say, well, let's use awareness or consciousness. Those are the cool new ones, right? We've outgrown spirit. Not that it means anything different. It just means we like different words now, Spirit is a conscious nothing that you can never see. Well, what's consciousness? Oh, a conscious nothing you can never see. Anyway. But any of these words, you can almost see your mind almost can't, it has this understanding about what those words mean, and that understanding is always objective to you. It's always in some sense apart from you. But what you're understanding and what's being described is never apart from you at all. So this is what makes it kind of confounding at the level of our intellect, because one of the powers of the intellect is that it's obviously an extraordinary tool when you're working with the world of objective or supposedly objective things. Very, very powerful tool, very useful tool. Obviously, you are sitting in something that basically began as a thought, as an object within somebody's mind. This room is literally a thought. It started as a thought. And the chairs, I think, a thought, a chair is a thought. And then somebody took their mind and turned a thought into a thing, which is amazing. So I'm actually a great lover of really good thinking. It's hard to find it. It's really hard to find really good thinking, but I'm a real fan of good thinking, because real thinking can be so powerful, so creative. Obviously, in our world, we're doing that. It doesn't mean we know what to do with what we create, but we can create it nonetheless. But we have become lost within that particular world of the mind that can be it is such a powerful and creative tool that it can make you think that it is the whole of reality. That's how powerful it is. That's how powerful your imagination is. And yet, even in the present tense, because the present tense is the only place we ever make any kind of significant spiritual discovery. It's always present tense. It's never future. Number one, because you never get there. You actually never get to the future. When you get to the future, it's always the present, but nonetheless. But also is because we have to get our energy out of being either in front of us, which is constantly listening to the narrative, because it's always basically in front of you, or behind you, which is you're imagining something that once happened. So usually we're in one of two directions. You ever noticed? You're either in yesterday, or you're talking to yourself about today, or you're imagining tomorrow. Meanwhile, just like in this moment, if we can suspend future, suspend past, suspend being obsessed with the current way of talking to oneself in the present, there's something that's completely quiet that you don't have to make quiet. It is quiet. And you can never get it out here to see it, because it's always the scene of things. So you can never find it in your future, you can never find it in your past. And you can never find it in any objective way in your present. Nonetheless, the very quality of attentiveness itself is part of that presence that you can't see, that you can't make into something. It's the thing that's always there.